Hey, it's Olivia Gamber with Career Evolved, and today I want to talk about how to actually be seen as 150 plus. So, I've been talking to a lot of people the last couple weeks right now that are stuck, you know, around 100K, low 100K, 120, and they really want to be breaking through to that next level. They know their value logically in terms of their skill set. They know other people in the market are making 150, 200K plus for the exact role that they're doing, but they're not being seen that way. And trust me, I get it. I've been in your shoes where I had the most direct reports in a whole function. I had more direct reports and scope of responsibility than some VPs, vice presidents in the company, but that were making 50, 60 grand more than me. And it all comes down to your identity and how you're perceived. And this is something that nobody's really focusing on because there's so much focus out there on resume, tactics, LinkedIn, outreach, transactional networking, and you're wondering why you're doing all the things that you're reading on the blogs, on the webinars, on the experts, whatever research you've been doing. There's no shortage of career tactical advice out there, but where people struggle is they're not being seen as that identity. And there is a completely different identity of 150 plus from low six figures, even if you're stuck below six figures, like 80, 90K, because really what this comes down to is positioning. It comes down to the experience. It comes down to your ability to influence. It comes down to your presence. It comes down to your ability to actually position yourself as someone who can pull very big levers. And here's the big shift that people don't realize because so many people are still stuck in the old way, the conventional approach of question ask, question answer, going through recruiters, the gatekeepers, and they're wondering why on paper they're not getting anywhere. And it doesn't matter how many times you redo your LinkedIn or your resume, you can't change the fact that you haven't done what you want to do, especially if you're trying to make that next breakthrough, especially if you're trying to be perceived as an executive and you've been stuck in middle management, or you're being trying to be perceived as a leader and all you've been doing is behind the scenes tactical. So that's a new identity, and people don't just flip a switch and see you like that overnight. This is about the experience you're providing and the relationships you're building and the career promoters, people that actually want to advocate on your behalf. That's how those decisions at 150 plus are made. You're not going to get someone cold off the street and give them that big of a responsibility without any trust or any type of referral or any type of advocate that's got to speak on their behalf. I know, speaking from my experience, hiring for the top most important roles that have such a huge business impact, especially, I would never just go straight off the street with someone because everyone at 150 has a great resume. Everyone at 150 has the education. They have the buzzwords on their resume. They all are telling the same story. You don't really get to see someone's character in an interview. So this is why, guys, I kid you not, those roles are never posted. And if they are, they're filled way before they're posted. And I saw this so many years when I was internal, leading corporate recruiting. I saw it on that side. I saw it on the talent development side behind closed doors with the C-levels. They're talking for months about their problems and who's going to solve them. Do they bring a consultant in? Do they bring someone in internally? It's all a conversation that's been happening, and you want to be engaging in the conversations right there. That's when you can have a conversation no one else is having. That's when you can build relevance and connection that you can never build by trying to shove yourself into a job description that likely wasn't even written by the executive who's making the decision. So this is such an emotional sale, and it's such a strategic shift in how most people are managing their career, which in most cases is passive and really treating themselves like a commodity. And if you're focused on your resume right now and you think that's the problem, you need to get a professional resume writer, that's not it. That's not even scraping the surface of your problem if you're trying to break through 150 and above, because if you think about it, just think about this strategically. You're a premium product. You solve big problems. You lead large scopes of responsibility. You're a premium product. Are you relying on a sales brochure, your resume, to set the meeting with the decision maker, the CEO, the executive? Absolutely not. That's passive. It's not, there's no catalyst to make you stand out. So if you're relying on that to do the heavy lifting, you've lost before you started. You have no control, not only of the timeline, but the quality, and you're not even tapping into the majority of it. So there's so much that needs to shift, not only from a process perspective and strategy, but even with outreach and networking. If you were networking at your lower levels, just talking about, hey, let someone know you're looking. Let everyone know you're looking. Can you keep an eye out? That message is not going to go anywhere. In fact, it's positioning you as a commodity as well, because you're letting everyone know you're looking. There's no value proposition. There's no high level positioning, and it's basically saying you need a job and no one cares. That's not a powerful way to get executives' attention, let alone hold their attention, let alone convert them to an advocate. Now you're making them think, where do I even place you? I have no idea, right? So just thinking about all the steps strategically that need to shift, but then it comes to how you are showing up, how your energy, your presence, your communication, your confidence. When you haven't been at 150, you have doubts. And I was just talking to a client yesterday. She's like, I know I'm worth 250. I know I'm worth 250. I have no doubt. And I go, there's doubt. Trust me. If there wasn't, we wouldn't be on the phone right now. Because if you were stepping into that identity of 250, you know exactly what you need to do. You wouldn't have any hesitation. And here's what I want to leave you guys with, because so many people miss this concept of identity because no one's really talking about this, but it's the root cause of your problem. Because at the end of the day, if you were already, the identity comes first. The identity comes first. That's when the offer comes. That's when the introductions come. That's when you are ready to receive that momentum and you're ready to get traction and you're actually able to sit at the table with those C-level executives and not have them on a pedestal and actually see them as your equal and actually be having a conversation where you're not trying to convince them, you're qualifying them. And to be able to show up that way, that takes some deeper inner work. And you've got to get rid of all the limitations that you have that have kept you stuck. And everybody has them, trust me. Everyone, even at the top, I see it with the CEOs, presidents. They have the most self-limiting beliefs because they don't have anyone there telling them that they're doing a good job. They don't have anyone there to affirm them that they're enough. They don't have every level that this is a block for people. And that's why so many people plateau on their career and so many people don't even break through to 150 or they don't even break through to 100 because at the end of the day, they're focused on tactics. What got them there? That's not the game. It becomes more of an inner game, guys. And don't get me wrong, your tactics probably need a lot of help and your strategy is probably non-existent if you're not getting traction. So don't get me wrong, that is a big shift that needs to happen behaviorally and what you're spending your attention on that's actually going to get results. Because the only thing that matters is more conversations with decision makers. Everything else is a distraction. Anything that doesn't lead to that, if you're talking to recruiters all day, you're wasting your time. That's the gatekeeper and you're treating yourself like a commodity. You're not even getting through to somebody. So that is just a whole nother conversation. But I like to focus on the identity because it doesn't matter. If I were to help you get into a bunch in front of, we've got over 700 plus executives all over the country in our alumni network. I could easily get you in front of them right now, but I wouldn't because the identity comes first. It doesn't matter unless you are dialed in, you've got clarity, you've got certainty, you've got a clear message, you have unwavering certainty that you can add that value. And there's just so much that needs to be done that people don't see themselves clearly as that peer. And if you don't see yourself there, without a doubt, how are you going to expect anyone else to? There's no way. It wouldn't happen. It breaks down. And then it's frustrating and you go back to blaming all the things you can't control, like your resume, your experience, whatever. But this is the controllable. It's all you. So when you're ready to own it all, this is what I call extreme ownership. When people that I work with, and I only work with people that take extreme ownership, everything that happens or fails to happen is on me. That's the mindset. And so when you take that level of accountability for marketing yourself, because you are the product, no one can do it for you. You're the experience. No one can become it for you. So when you take that level of extreme ownership and you step into your power and you start to really do the work to show up and actually influence at that level and build that type of advocacy, that's when you become unstoppable and you have multiple offers and you create opportunities. There's limitless opportunity across the country right now, but you have to be willing to see it, and you have to train yourself to see it, and you have to train yourself to create it, and you have to train yourself to actually show up in a way that you are a premium product, that you will stand out. And so these are the things that you need to do if you're really committed to 150. If you're not, then that's a whole nother conversation. You can still get by with the old way, but again, if you're looking for fulfillment, you're looking for six figures, and you want to be doing work you love, then this is the only way to do it, because this is really where you are in the driver's seat and you're taking control. So I highly encourage you to think that through. If you guys have questions, DM me. I know I'm throwing a lot at you to process, but I've now talked to thousands of people just in the last few years. I've seen it all. I'm speaking straight from experience, and not to just give you a bunch of fluff, but the root cause is always identity. And this is something that I would say 99% of people are not focusing on right now. So let me know if you have questions. Feel free to DM me. If you have a specific situation, happy to chat, and I will see you guys soon.